Aloha, Hawaiiverse podcast listeners. I'm your host, Kamaka Diaz, and I'm here to tell you the difference between Hawaiiverse podcast and Hawaiiverse. I know a lot of people get confused and think Hawaiiverse is Hawaiiverse podcast. Well, they're all connected. Hawaiiverse podcast is a branch of our business, Hawaiiverse, which is an online platform that we created to support local businesses. We started off as a coupon directory with just 40 businesses in Hilo, and we expanded statewide, and now we have over 1,000 businesses on our website and coupons so you can go and support local businesses. We also have an e-commerce store, kind of like the Etsy and Amazon of Hawaii, so that you can buy local products and support local businesses. So make sure you check it out, hawaiiverse.com. We have a lot more bigger updates coming your way, but for now, enjoy this podcast and enjoy all the local deals you get from Hawaiiverse. Aloha, everybody. Welcome to the Hawaiiverse podcast, a podcast that supports local by cheering for local professional athletes like they were your own family. I'm your host, Kamaka Diaz, and shout out to my cousins, Max Holloway, Marcus Mariota, and Tua Tagovailoa. We go way back. We got an epic episode for you today, but before we get into it, let me tell you about this week's local business giveaway being provided by the Hilo Axe Lounge. They are giving away $200 for you and up to 10 people to try out some axe throwing and their rage room. I've been there and it's so much fun. I'm definitely going to stop by there next time I'm in Hilo. The owner, Drew, is an awesome guy. Go support them. Head over to Hawaiiverse on Instagram right now to enter. Okay, let's introduce our guest. Our guest today is a former professional football player, all-around athlete, and a University of Hawai'i football standout from the island of Oahu. This local boy is Hawaii's all-time career yardage leader and is in the top 10 for receiving yards and touchdown. In 2004, he was awarded the Mosi Tatupu Award for Best Special Teams Player. In 2012, he was named the most outstanding player in the Canadian Football League and is a two-time Grey Cup champion and holds the CFL record for most all-purpose yards in a regular season. He is also an actor, motivational speaker, entrepreneur, and currently is the host of Star Advertiser CO2 RUNDWN, a web sports talk show based in Honolulu. Above all these impressive accolades, he is a husband and father of 3 and has an incredible work ethic. He's a great role model, and I'm happy to have him on the podcast today. His name is Chad Owens. Aloha, Chad. Welcome to the podcast. How you doing?
Ooh, brother, come on. Hey, mahalo, man. That was one of the best intros I've ever got, man.
Well, for that. Chad Mighty Mouse Owens, we had to go all out.
Yeah, no, thank you, man. Thank you. And it's, I know we've been trying to connect for a minute here. I'm glad we finally did, man. And this is, I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, well, I'm happy.
Well, let me congratulate you, man, because it takes a lot to do this. I know there's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes and building up a brand and doing what you're doing, man. Giving back, it's greatly appreciated, and it's a platform that you've built and you're doing it the right way, and just want to congratulate you, man, on all the success so far. Yeah.
And shout out to my team. It's a team effort. Yep. Just like you know about that, right?
100%.
You're a local legend, football player, one of the most dynamic returners, players, just overall players in UH football's history. You're like the Devin Hester of UH, right?
Yeah. I was actually competing against Devin, in those times, and so, but there's something special, man. Something to say about competition, and sports, and what it does to you as a person. Mm-hmm. I've always believed, and a lot of coaches have said this, that as an athlete, the things you learn in sports, the things you learn through competition, the life lessons that you gain through all those experiences, you can't get that anywhere else. Yeah. And it preps you for life outside of sports. It's going to help you and give you a foundation. Mm-hmm. It doesn't guarantee success, but it gives you a solid foundation of tools that can help you in life and whatever you decide to do post-sport.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I always thought growing up playing sports, it helped me learn so much. I mean, failure, success, you can gain so much resiliency just from playing sports over your life, and even like social interaction, how to get along with people, how to follow the rules, how to maybe not follow the rules. Like, there's so much that you can learn from sports, and yeah, I'm just happy to have you here so we can talk about all of that and some other journeys, competitions, other things that you're getting into. So we'll talk about that later. But before we get into that, I always gotta ask my guests, where are you from, where you grad, and what was it like growing up?
Yeah, born and raised right here, Honolulu, Hawaii. man, I mean, I can't say that I had the easiest of upbringings, but I wouldn't change it for the world. For the most part, my mom raised me, single parent, kalihi, you know, so I was surrounded from at a young age. I wasn't in the projects or the hood, but I mean, hey, Camphor Housing was right up the road. KPT was right down the road. And that's all I knew, you know? So growing up in hard times, which at the time, I don't look at it as hard times, but it was a struggle, right? Single mom, you know, I tell this story, I'm like, you know, I think about it now, like, man, eat. And my mom fed me good. Don't take this the wrong way, but I had a heavy diet of cereal, Simon, you know, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, you know, low key, cheap stuff, but it gave me a lot of energy, you know. But at the time, I'm just thinking, that's just whatever, you know. But mom's doing what mom's got to do to provide, and I'll forever be grateful for that. But looking back on it now, man, it was a tough upbringing, you know.
That's poor man food right there.
In a way, quote unquote,
pork and beans.
But but a lot of us, you know, local people can relate to that. A lot of people in general can relate to that. Yeah. And so, you know, but again, I wouldn't trade that for the world because it gave me something to push for. It gave me just an added motivation to continue to you know, work to be better. And yeah, I found myself, you know, moved to Paoa and went to Roosevelt High School. I mean, can't skip Kona Intermediate. Got a shout out my intermediate. They ended up at Roosevelt, you know, where I, you know, met my wife today actually in Paoa.
Oh, you're a high school sweetheart.
Bro, pre-high school.
Pre-high school.
We've been together
since... Is there a term for that?
Since
Just pre-high school sweetheart?
I don't know. Since we were 12 years old.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's been a long, crazy journey, you know, with her. She's my best friend, and I'm blessed to have 3 beautiful children like you talked about. But yeah, that history, it's crazy. You know, and I have to share this story about how my wife and I started dating because
I love how we met stories.
Yeah, but it's about decisions. It's about daily decisions in our life, right? Because we're always faced with making a decision. Yeah. And so I was coming home one day during the summer. I was riding my bike, and so up Paoa Road is where I straight shot all the way up to my house. But Booth Road, I can go to my house from Booth Road too. But my best friend lives up at Booth Road. And this is pre-cell phone, you know what I mean? So I had to like, is Blake home?
How old were you?
12.
12. Okay.
I was 12 years old.
So that's like 7th grade, 8th grade?
7th grade.
7th grade, okay.
So think about it today, right? 7th graders.
I know.
We're not out and about at 12 years old anymore. Like,
it's
on our
different.
own.
Yeah.
Right? So I was well in the, you know, I could hold my own. 12 years old, riding around the neighborhood, doing whatever I needed to do, having fun. So I'm like, I wonder if Blake's home. Man, I was at the stoplight. Do I just go straight home? Like, you know what? I'm going to check Blake out. So I went this way. I went Boot Road. I pull up to his house, and sure enough, he's in front of his house, the front steps, on the phone. Oh, what's up, brother? Oh, no. He's like, I'm on the phone with Rena. I'm like, because Rena's my wife, and Rena was trying to connect Blake with her friend.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know why, but so I got to rewind a little bit so people understand the context of this. In grade 6, last day, school dance, you know what I mean? I'm dancing with Rena. Oh, you know, it's like, oh, you know, dancing. And after school, that day, last day of school, I was going to ask her out. I was just going, you know. But then right before I was able to ask, she's like, oh, hey, my dad's here. I got to go. Oh, okay. Have a good summer. Whatever. Allah. Yeah. So just to give some backstory. So I think the seeds were kind of like there.
Yeah.
So getting back to Blake's house. Oh, yeah? I yelled, hey, tell her to go out with her. Just messing around. And he was like, oh, she heard that. She said maybe. And I was like, what? I was kind of joking, but kind of not.
Yeah.
Next day, double date up at Booth Park, and the rest is history.
Wow. 7th grade.
So I'm getting chicken skin because if I don't make the decision to go out to Blake's house and I go straight home, who knows if this love story ever happens.
Yeah, I love that. I believe that kind of fate kind of thing. You know, what if you were at this coffee shop 5 minutes later, you know?
Right.
Yeah, I don't know if you ever watched 500 Days of Summer. That's one of my favorite movies.
Oh, I gotta check that out.
You gotta check it out, but I don't want to spoil it. But kind of towards the end, the guy's asking why they weren't together and why she ended up with this other guy, and it's because she went into this coffee shop and like he was reading this book that she liked, and it just like connected. And she's like, but what if he was reading a different book? What if I went there? Wow, yeah. I went to a pizza shop or a bagel shop instead of a coffee shop. So it's like.
Yes, I love that. Destiny. But at the same time, I also believe that God brings things together. He helped me make that decision to go. No, you got to go Boot Road. You got to go there. In her case, she had to go to that coffee shop at that time. Like I believe that we were meant to be together, and I believe that decision wasn't only on my own. It was, because I'm fast forwarding now, my wife and I, the journey we've been through, our kids, obviously, and everything. Like we have an amazing story. We have an amazing inspiration and, things that I believe we're going to start sharing more to inspire more couples and things like that. So that's down the road. But it's interesting though, that the decisions you make today could impact your tomorrow and they're forward, Do
you believe in destiny and fate and stuff? Or do you believe like God has it all planned out and we're doing what we're already supposed to be doing?
I believe that I believe in destiny, but I believe that opportunities come in your way, and if you're not and if you're not ready at that time, it's not going to happen. And then maybe a similar opportunity may present itself. You may not be ready then still. So you got to go through things. Life has its seasons, and then maybe finally here you're ready, and then the connection happens. You know what I mean? So eventually you end up doing what you were meant to do anyway. So
sometimes you just take longer to get there.
Yeah, for sure. Everyone's meant to do something. To be someone. I truly believe that.
Yeah, cool. You know what I really like how this podcast started off is that we started talking. Not once did you mention football. The first thing you started talking about was your wife and family and how you met. I love that. That shows me how much you truly love them. How much you truly love them.
And this is what athletes need to realize, right? Football, it doesn't define me. It's not who I am. It's what I did. It's what I did, and I enjoyed, and I loved, and I poured everything I had into it, and ended up making it a career. It could support my family. But football doesn't define me. It's a lot of things that you talked about, working hard. And, it's like I love football. I think about it from time to time, but I'm busy doing other things now. And my mind is always like on the next. What's the next challenge? I need something.
Yeah, you're a competitor.
Yeah. So, but that's just it. I think you cannot get hung up too much on your previous successes and or failures.
Yeah.
You gotta have that short-term memory, and you gotta move forward.
Yeah, it's like who cares what you did? It's what you're doing now.
It's it.
That's how your mind works.
All the things you talked about, all these accolades. Who cares? That was how many years ago? It's done with. And to some degree, football is like that. The professional sports is a cutthroat business. What have you done for me lately?
Yeah.
Right? Are you as good now as you were as a rookie, or your third, your prime years? Nope, they're trying to replace you. And so it teaches you that you got to constantly be evolving. You got to constantly, how am I going to constantly each and every year prove to these coaches that I'm still the best? That I may not be as fast, but I'm more experienced. I'm smarter. So you have to evolve as a person to continue to increase your value.
Yeah.
Right? Hey, always believe in yourself, self-worth, but you have to constantly look for opportunities to evolve. And to do that, you cannot be stuck on what you did yesterday. So, Pinball Clemens, he's one of the greatest Toronto Argonauts of all time. He's a CFL legend. He is now the general manager of the team. That's the team I played for. So he used to come speak to us. And he said this quote, it's just unbelievable. I cannot remember who it's from, but the quote said this, is if what you did yesterday still sounds good to you today, then you haven't done much today. And I'm like, okay, like what's on the menu today?
Yeah, that motivates me too. It's like, not to stay stagnant, but to always, think of how to level up.
That's it.
Like
a video game, bro. Like if you should be frustrated that you never get to the next level, right? In a video game, I used to get pissed. Bro, what's going on? Like, I got to start over again? What do I got to do differently to level up? And as you go through the level, you keep, you find out, okay, I have to do this on this part. Still don't make it. Oh, well, I have to, I got to creep a little bit slower on the, you learn a lot about yourself in order to level up, but you got to go through the bumps. You got to go through adversity.
You have to fail. Yeah. I played a lot of video games growing up, so I totally understand.
The goal is to level up, man. But in this, the game of life, there's no ending. There's no final boss. Because you can always continue to climb.
Even when you think it's the end, there's like another peak. Yeah, they said like once you get to the top of the mountain, there's another peak.
There's another peak.
Yeah.
Right?
That's really cool. I love it. I love the conversation so far.
Yes, sir.
But I do want to talk about like how you got into football and then like your career at UH, because it was an amazing career. I tell people, like, before there was Colt Brennan, there was Timmy Chang and Chad Owens, I mean, there were some legends before that too, but like, I feel like your team really put Hawaii football on the map,
Yeah, I mean, we made it relevant again. We made it exciting. I like to think I brought some excitement to the game, whereas maybe the tailgating people were just out there. They'd show up first quarter, second, whatever. Yeah. But they were making sure they were in there before the opening kickoff.
Yeah. When I was at UH, I went to UH 2011 to 2016. So this was after the Colt Brennan. So we weren't very good. There was no excitement. People would go and tailgate and just leave, or they would go in, and by the time you get in, they're blacked out, And I'm a big football fan, so I actually want to watch the game. Yeah. But it just wasn't. It's not as exciting when your team isn't that good.
Yeah, but but I have to comment on that. If you're gonna be a fan of the University of Hawaii, winning, being good, it helps bring crowds. It helps bring the fan support. But I think that's the mindset that I'd like to see change in our fans, especially young fans. It's like, hey, you represent your team, you support a team regardless, right? Show up whether they win the games or not. You have to appreciate what goes into being an athlete, a Division I football player, right? So I think as people start to understand, bro, they got to manage. They're up at 5 o'clock. Yeah. They're up doing this. They got to manage school. They're training in the weight room. They're making a lot of sacrifices, trying to eat right. And it takes a lot. Right? There's a high stress level when it comes to being an athlete. And the mental health awareness, all this stuff, it's real. And I just think if more people had a greater perspective of what athletes go through, specifically football players, because that's what we're talking about, I think you'd celebrate them regardless. And you'd want to show up for them knowing, hey, they deserve fans in the stands because they put all this hard work in. Yeah, they may not be very good, but as individuals, they've all earned the right to have fans cheering for them and supporting them regardless. And that's kind of like what my take is on it. Yeah, having people that puts people in the stands, that's why at the professional level, certain guys get paid more money because they're the guy, right? People will come to watch the Tom Brady's. They come to watch Patrick Mahomes now, Tyreek Hill. They're coming to watch these elite Pro Bowlers, the best in the game, because that's just what it is. It's weird because I saw I think Stephen Smith made a comment how Michael Jordan changed the game for the worse in basketball. Because prior to Michael Jordan, you would come and support your team. It's kind of along the same topics. Yeah. But Michael Jordan came along, and he was just an individual, one guy in a team sport that shined and rose above everybody. And Nike, the NBA, started highlighting one guy. Yeah. So from that moment on, I think sports as a whole became more individualized. That's what Steve was talking about.
So you agree with that?
I don't think it was for the worse. I think I'm an athlete first guy.
Yeah.
Right? Steven, he's the media first guy. I'm an athlete first guy. Yeah. So that helped athletes. If you're the best of the best, man, you deserve the world. Hey, give it to them, because people are paying to see this one guy. They want to see this one guy. Yeah. And media is the ones who push this one guy. And that's what happens in sports. And I get what you're saying. Maybe a team in certain eras doesn't have the one or two players that just electrify and you want to show up to watch. I get it. But those are the times where you suck it up as a fan. You show up anyway.
If you're a real fan.
If you're a real fan, you show up anyway. Right? Just no different than work. Some days you don't feel like going to work. You still show up.
Yeah.
Right? And that's just what it is. You got to go through the tough times to appreciate the good times.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. It's full circle with everything.
Yeah, it's just so many things you can relate to.
Yeah. Sorry for the long talk there about that, but I just wanted to kind of sort of paint a picture so that the listeners and viewers can understand and maybe gain some perspective.
Definitely. That's great perspective. I mean, even the Stephen A comment, you know, because like that is true. There's Michael Jordan, but we often forget about Pippen, Rodman, Steve Kerr.
You know what I'm saying?
How many people would think of Steve Kerr, the Bulls player, instead of Steve Kerr, the coach of the Warriors, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he's the coach of the Warriors.
He's the coach of the Warriors right now. Yeah.
But you think of those Bulls, like MJ. It's MJ. But without Scottie Pippen, without Kerr, without those guys, over the years of the guys that they brought in, the Rodmans, they're not winning those championships.
Yeah.
But Jordan elevated those guys, right? He made them better. He demanded their greatness every single day at practice. And that's what you get from the individual guys and girls that have the ability at the practice setting to elevate everybody and to demand greatness. That's how you get a good team.
Yeah.
You know?
So when
great teams.
When you were growing up playing football, I mean, you did a bunch of different sports as well, right? Who did you look up to? Like who did you want to be?
You know what? As a young athlete, here in Hawaii, I had my favorite pros. I used to follow obviously Jerry Rice, Bo Jackson, like athletes. Michael Jordan's like I always gravitated to the best, the best in the game because those are the people that the media was pumping out. That's who we saw. Wow, it's like he's on this platform. He's the best in the world. And so you kind of naturally gravitate to that. You don't know much about their off the field, off the court personalities. You just know them as this star athlete, this godlike person. Like, wow, I see him on TV. Like, you think someone's on TV, they're like the most famous person in the world.
Put them on a pedestal.
Put them on a pedestal. So that was far-fetched. That was a far reach. So for me, like someone I could touch, and I always share this, my cousin, he was an athlete as well. And growing up, he's 4 years older than me. He went to Kamehameha, played, all his whole life. He played baseball, football, basketball, and so I tried to follow those like same things, right? And so he was someone that I could like touch and actually hang around and be around and like aspire to be like, and then you get to a certain age and you get older and you start coming into your own, and he went on to go to UNLV and have a nice career there. And, I finally, it was my time. I went to UH and walked on and earned my stripes there. But, you have to have those people. You have to have someone, and everyone has it. They have the uncles, they have the cousins, they have, there's somebody that came before them that was willing to play catch with them, that was willing to, hey, no, you got to do it this way, or, and yeah, he was that, he was that guy for me. My cousin Danny Pacheco, shot him out.
Yeah.
And he's got two sons right now who are listen to this now, world record holders.
No way.
In like powerlifting.
Wow.
And they're only 14. I think 14 or 14.
Wow.
Yeah, they're 14.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So he's training them, and he's definitely helping pave the way for his own kids now, and so it's great to see that.
I think local representation is so important because, like you said, we have these MJs, Brady's, all these star athletes that everybody knows, but like you said, it's almost out of reach. It's like
it's a little closer today because of Instagram and social media. Like you can see so much more about them, but still, like you're not allowed to go cruise with Tom Brady.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah. But if somebody like Marcus Mariota, who was St. Louis boy, maybe I'm a freshman at St. Louis, I'm like, I want to be like Marcus. I want to be like Tua. Marcus also goes to Sandy's or whatever. Like, I can do these local things and be just like him. Yeah. It's just, it hits you differently.
Yep.
It gives you a different perspective and makes it more tangible.
Yeah, and especially now, you know, back then there was no, I don't know, I can't remember the local pros, and you know, now we've got a ton, and we have representation in every sport.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah, there's every one girl playing softball. She just got the NCAA.
Justin Alo.
Yeah, right there.
Bro, she is.
Yes.
I'm just getting chicken skin again because I have to report on her a lot because I do the sports show. So all the athletes, right? Mm-hmm. You know, she had a press conference. I think she was talking about like her time ending at. You know, it's sad, it's tough, but she said that she is happy that she's embraced her strength physically, allows her to hit these balls, and like it gave her more confidence as a woman. And that statement right there, like she's empowering women, right? And she's being in Hawaii, young girls that may feel like, oh, like I'm not as fast as so and so, because you know today's world, right? Social media, it's all judgment, it's all comparisons. But the more outlets we provide our keiki, the more inspiration that, hey, you can too. Look at me, right? You know, that's what we need more of, is the more of these influences that, hey, I can be like her now, right? It's not just, you not just have to be a basketball player or a, you know, this, that. There's so many opportunities out there to make it.
And make an impact.
And
inspire. Yeah, I think that's cool. The cool thing about all these social media platforms is that we have this in a resource where we can reach so many people, you know. And back when you were at UH, there wasn't social media. We don't see these highlights on.
No, there was an NIL. There was an NIL. Yo, let me get the NIL from back then.
Yeah, where's the back pay?
Where's the back pay?
Yeah, I don't know. Can we also give Reggie Bush back his Heisman? Can we do that, please? Anybody watching this?
For real, like, hey,
he was my favorite player. That's why I started watching football. That's why I'm a Saints fan, because of Reggie Bush.
Yo, like, he is. Yeah, it's unfortunate that at the time, you're breaking the rules, like the rules at that time, but you cannot deny that man wasn't the best football player in the country his entire college career, every year. Untouched. Like, no one could touch that.
Yeah. So, yeah, it is unfortunate, but it's interesting to see how everything's evolving and changing, and but
maybe one day. We're still pushing for that, rooting for that. Maybe they'll do it one day.
Yeah, that'd be cool. So when you were in college, what was that like? So you weren't highly recruited. You walked onto UH, and how did you go from that to, you know, one of the best players of all time?
Well, man, again, like blessings and like opportunity. You know, I'm thankful that I had a quarterback. My quarterback at Roosevelt, Chad Kapanui, was a 3-sport all-stater: football, baseball, basketball, all-stater. He got offered, right, a scholarship to the University of Hawaii. And June Jones and Coach Ron Lee, who was the receiver coach at the time, wanted to come to Roosevelt and watch him throw. And who was the receiver that showed up to catch for him? Your boy. And I said, you know, this is my opportunity.
Yeah. Oh, so you were aware of that opportunity. So,
I knew that they were coming, and I was like, okay,
But you knew that was, even though they're there for other Chad, this Chad's gonna be the one that shows out.
I had an opportunity to show that, hey, I've got some skills too. Like, and this is the kicker, man. Like, our football field was being renovated, so we had this little patch of grass outside of, like, we have our field, we have the dirt track, because we had a dirt track back then, and then we have this little patch of grass by the scoreboard next to the swimming pool. Small patch of grass, and it wasn't even grass at the time; it was dirt.
Yeah.
So I'm out there running routes on that dirt, diving, catching every single ball, showing my quickness. And that sort of sparked a little, like, what? Who's that? Like, what's? And so because of that, and because of my interest to walk on, they didn't know, okay, yeah, like, I was the last man added that year, right, to walk on. And then over the summer, what happens is, you train during the summer, and then come fall camp, all the walk-ons, like, you have what's called preferred walk-ons, and guys that are in school, like, there's a early camp. So you have the early training camp, and then the first day of school hits, and then the rest of the guys get to join the camp. That's how it was. And I was the last guy added to that camp, like the early camp. So I was able to go.
You were Mr. Irrelevant for the walk-on.
I guess, yeah. I earned it because I trained the whole summer with the strength coaches. I was in there every day in the weight room, proving myself. So thankful for those opportunities. And then, the rest is history, man. Like, it wow. It sort of just happened. Yeah. My redshirted first year, and the next year, it was against Fresno State. I think it was week, might have been 4 or 5. It was like almost like a quarter of the way into the season. And our returner at the time was struggling. Mm-hmm. Halftime comes. Everybody dresses for the games, right? I'm just a walk-on. Halftime comes. I'm sitting with the other walk-ons and kind of Coach Tyson Hilton, he was our special teams coach at the time, comes storming in the locker room at the Aloha Stadium. CO, you're returning the second half kickoff. And then stormed off. And I was like, I looked at the other walk-ons like, CO, bro. They're grabbing like this. Yo, it's your time. It's your time. And I'm just like, whoa, okay. Oh, bro, I'm like strapping up. Like, I have my helmet on in the locker room, bro. Like, I'm hyped. And then the open kickoff comes, like the second half kickoff, bro. I get it. And I bust for about 70.
Wow.
And the safety just had the angle on me, just shoved me out. That was it. Like that, I just never looked back, bro. Wow. Never looked back. And so,
and you kept that position.
Yeah, it was the start. I mean, that was the year. That was the BYU year. Oh. That was the year I ended up being a freshman All-American returner.
Is that the year, the game where you had a kick return and punt return?
Yeah, 2001.
Very impressive.
So like, again, I talk about like, opportunities and my freshman year, like I didn't get a scholarship, right? But I was still aligned with football. I was still chugging away, and then finally that was the moment. Yeah. But what if I fumbled that kick, right? What if I dropped it or fumbled it or did something like wild like that? Mm-hmm. You still, the skill, when this talent and the preparation meets opportunity, bro, like good things can happen.
Yep. That's awesome. I have a different story where I was freshman, I was receiver and kicker, and they needed, I think our returner or something, he was academic probation or something like that. And I never ever returned kicks. I don't know why they chose me. I think I was just fast, that's why. So they put me out there, and I think they assumed it was going to go to the other guy. I was just one of the two in the back, and they kicked it, and it came to me. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And then I guess I was running, and I was like, oh, this is fun, because I'm in maybe popcorn, I return kicks. And I did, and I was kind of juking out people, and I thought I did really well, because I made like 2 people miss, and I got like, 20, 30 yards, whatever. But then I come to the sideline, and the coach is like, or I don't know, my teammates were like, why didn't you follow the wall, the blockers? I was like, oh, I was supposed to do that? Then I watched that tape, I used to see like a bunch of people lining up. And after the first guy comes to me, I just run away from that guy. So I was like, the wall's coming over here, and I'm just running this
opposite direction.
But I made a couple guys miss.
Hey, that's all that matters. If you can make 1 miss, 2 miss, there's some potential there. But there's something to say about, just following. But you never took in reps at it, right? You didn't get to practice at it. So
I didn't know
can't blame you. They can't blame you for that.
Yeah, but it's funny because, I ended up not becoming a professional athlete. So you can tell how our stories differ.
No, it's all good, man. It's all good. But yeah, funny. Man. So that's the start of that career, and never looked back. Worked harder. Earned my scholarship the following spring, and just that made me feel like, wow, like I am part of this team officially. Like I felt part of it already, and then when I was playing that year, I was having some success as a return guy. Sprinkled in on offense. And then when I got the scholarship, it just sort of solidified to me like the hard work I put in was earned right there. Mm-hmm. And I paid it back by working even harder, starting to become a leader, and then just doing all of those things. And end up getting drafted. And man.
Were you always a receiver? Because you kind of have the frame of like a running back. You're like really
stocky, my shorter. Like as a freshman,
also good for a slot receiver.
Yeah. So as a freshman in high school at Roosevelt, I played running back.
Oh, okay.
But prior to that, I wasn't a running back like popcorn. But I had the quicks. I had the look, like you said. I was a starting running back. And funny story. So I'll talked about Chad Kapanui, JV freshman year. They're like, all right, we need a quarterback. Who wants to play quarterback? No one says anything. And I'm like, hey, coach, like, Chad Kapanui, he's got a great arm. Like, I think And, you know, he looked at me. I don't know even if he wanted to play, but I suggested him, and he ended up being our quarterback. And he ended up moving up to varsity as a freshman at the end of the year.
Wow. And
played in the Aloha Stadium, like, to help. Yeah, it was unreal. And then we both started as sophomores.
Chad and Chad.
Yeah, and it was a connection, man. And, yeah, full circle. We both went to the University of Hawaii together. It was cool. It was a really cool story. And then there was another Chad in the mix, a linebacker from Roosevelt. So it was the three Chads. We were known as the three Chads.
I had three Kamakas.
Yeah?
I had me, my friend Kamaka. We went on Punana, like on preschool together, school together. He was quarterback. So Pee-wees, I was quarterback. He was running back. Then high school, he was quarterback. I was receiver.
Wow.
And then I also played kicker because I played soccer all my life. We had another Kamaka at our school, Kamaka Jose. It was Kamaka Diaz, Kamaka Luis, Kamaka Jose. And at one point, Kamaka Jose was a long snapper. So Kamaka Jose snapped it to Kamaka Luis, which was the holder, and Kamaka Diaz kicked it.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, so we started using our last names, right?
Exactly.
So it's Chad Owens, Chad Kapanui, and Chad Kalili Moku. So it was like Moku, Cops, and Owens.
That's
just
Diaz,
what
Luis, Jose. Yeah.
So it was great, man. That was a full circle moment for me too. Like having my high school bros, like playing together at college. But yeah, you know, we're talking about me today, right? It's one guy, but you know, you talked about teamwork, and there's so many other moving parts to one person's success that no one really sees, you know, and no one can ever be successful on their own. It's impossible. It's impossible. So shout out to all my, you know, teammates throughout the years, my coaches and everybody, you know. Yeah. Truly thankful.
Speaking of teammates, Timmy Chang's the new coach for UH. How do you feel about that? How do you think the state of Hawaii's football is right now?
Man, we got a local guy. You know, that's a win. That's a big win, and I think everyone's expectations compared to what we've had the last couple of seasons, it's this year, especially maybe the next couple of years. It's not about how many games is he going to win. It shouldn't be about that. The culture is back.
Yeah, I was going to say culture. Yeah.
The culture is back. Hawaii football and what it's meant to be and represent is back. And that's a huge win in my books. And I think, you know, Timmy's going to do well as the years progress. You know, first time being a head coach, and he's been in the game for a while, so he understands the college coaching game for sure. But being a head coach, it's a whole new set of things for him, right? And he's going to learn that. He's going to get better at it. And the staff he's assembled is experienced, and I think this year, like, we might surprise some people. Yeah, you know, because when you have a coach that players want to play for, it's different. You get that little extra something on game day. You get that extra fight. You know, fourth quarter when it's still you're down, you know, 21, you can come back. We've come back from those types of games, and when you have that extra, you push and you make those plays on defense. A pick six, and offense is motivated now. Then you go down and score. Now you're down 7 momentum, with 3 minutes to go, and you can, you know, that's just how football is. That's how it should be. But when you got a coach that, it's like whatever, bro. Like halftime, the game's probably done. That's the difference, and that's to me the biggest thing that we're getting from having.
Do you think that's gonna make more local kids stay home? Because that's one of the issues. Is, you know, all our talent leaves.
You know what? Like, I'd like to hope that we can start to influence more local, our best guys to stay home to represent the culture. You know, because there's a lot of guys that go away, but they end up coming back anyway. All right? But there are opportunities out there. You know, I'm not gonna like doubt that. You know, if you're a guy that plays a defensive end position that's a highly recruited, and you're gonna go to like the Nebraskas and the Alabamas or those, you have those types of opportunities.
Hard to say no.
The next step to the NFL, because that's every kid's dream, is to make it to the NFL. Not saying that you can't from the University of Hawaii, because you can. At the end of the day, if you are the best on the team and you end up being the best in the conference and your numbers speak for itself, you're going to get an opportunity to go to the combine, and you could change things right there at the combine with numbers. Yeah. Right? But then where you play, who you play for, it also plays a role, man.
That is true.
You know? So, you know, at the end of the day, I believe every kid should do what they feel is best for them. and their opportunities and what they're hoping to accomplish. And going away isn't bad, because I lived away for a number of years, right? You gain so much more perspective on life, meeting new people, different cultures, the way these people do this, and how you evolve. Not saying that you can't evolve if you stay home, but home is home.
Yeah.
You know, you're in your routine. You know what this is. But when you go away and you live away, you gain some perspective, and that's what I appreciate about being a pro, and I was able to go and do those things.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a win for the athlete. Again, I'm an athlete first now. It's a win for them if they decide to go away. I wish them well, but here's where it can be different.
Yeah. Well,
the percentages of making it to be a professional is small. If your plan is to move back to Hawaii after you spent 4 or 5 years at a college in the mainland, you could be irrelevant. I'm just being honest. You spend time in Hawaii, at the University of Hawaii, local kid, you do well, make a name for yourself, you go pro, it doesn't happen, okay, you come home, people know who you are. You might have been the top high school player here, but you gone for 5 years. Guess what? There's 4 or 5 years that top high school players' names have been popping up now. It's unfortunate, but people forget. They may be like, oh yeah, I remember him from back in, but oh cool. So he's done. I remember he went to Alabama. He didn't go to the NFL though. He's done. That's just how it is here.
Yeah.
So if you got to think about your plan, your future, right? And so I am thankful for my journey. Thankful that I had to walk on here. Did it the way I did it, and that's why I have the opportunities that I have now. Yeah, granted, I went on as a pro and did what I did, so that helps. But coming back home and being here, and there's so many fans I bump into all the time. They're still talking about BYU game. Like that is it, that game. And so I was able to make an impression on people here playing for the university, representing the state. So that has some leverage.
Well, your foundation is here. Everything you built was here. And then because of that and your work ethic, you've been able to get these other opportunities to travel, get drafted, to the NFL, the biggest name in football, and then play in the Canadian Football League, all these things. And something that I always thought about when I left for the first time, left Hawaii, that you don't realize how small it is over here, how small your world is until you leave. You realize, wow, I'm really on an island in the middle of nowhere. You realize, oh, people are different than us. They act different. Some people don't take off their shoes when they walk in the house. Some people, they're not as kind as, they won't open the door. They won't do certain things. And you don't know that until you leave. I talked about this on the last podcast too, like roam and come home. I think that's the best thing is, you leave, you see what's out there, you come back and you share the knowledge with the community, with the keiki, everybody. Yeah, so that's pretty much what you're doing.
Yep.
And that's why I think you're a great role model to me, to everybody here. So yeah, super, super proud of you and everything you've accomplished and the things that you're about to accomplish as well.
Mahalo, yes.
Yeah.
So much more to accomplish.
Yes, it never ends.
Never ending.
Yeah, so right now, we'll talk about what's next, the future, in a little bit. Right now, I want to get into Instagram questions. We got a few questions.
Let's do it.
First, I got to take a sip of my Vaikoko since I just saw you do that.
Oh, yeah. It's refreshing.
Shout out to them.
Kawi.
Coconut, yeah. Mahalo to Vaikoko, our sponsors for the Hawaiiverse podcast. Love their coconut water. Me and my family drink it all the time. So refreshing. Good for the environment. BPA-free, vegan, gluten-free, no added sugars. So natural. I love it. And the best part, you get 10 cents when you recycle because these cans are bimetal, which isn't just good for the environment. It's good for your pockets when you recycle. All right. First Instagram question comes from my brother, Micah Diaz. He says, do you play fantasy football?
The short answer is no. I don't know why I never got into it. My son, heavy into it, right? And him and his friends, he got me, Dad, do the season with us. Okay. Bro, I wouldn't even pay attention. I still had guys starting that were injured.
You're one of those.
I'm one of those, bro. I'm not even like,
out of my league real fast.
Yeah, so I don't. No, so I don't do the fantasy thing. I never got into it, and I guess because I'm so busy, and that's like a free time thing, right?
Yeah.
You have time? Okay, I can check my stuff. I'm like, I'd rather be, if I got free time, bro, I'm bodyboarding. Like, let me know what's this waves.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta go golf, or I'm also looking for the next thing. Okay, what can I do? Fantasy football never really got into it.
Yeah, and sounds like you probably won't.
I probably won't.
do you watch sports a lot? Do you watch football on Sundays?
Right, I don't watch much TV, but I do watch. I mean, social media is Instagram is my thing. So I'm watching highlights. So I do watch sports because I have to report on sports. So I need to know. I need to be in the know. But we don't really we'll sit and watch games for sure. We'll watch it all. Just on the go, man. TV. If I got time to sit in front of the TV, that means I got time to relax. Okay. And I'm maybe watching a documentary or something of that nature. Education. Yeah. I'm trying to expand the knowledge a little bit.
Maybe if you were still playing, you'd be watching more because it's like watching film and trying to,
Yeah. Be comparing, watching the other teams. Okay, I used to watch every single CFL game because we're playing these guys eventually. I'm like, okay, who's, but my son is, bro, he knows all the stats of everybody in all the sports too. Like this guy he's about it.
Yeah, and he's at UH right now.
He's at UH right now.
That's awesome. Yeah. It comes full circle. Yeah. You have a big smile on your face.
Man, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's
It'd be cool to see him in a Lowe Stadium once, if it's done by then. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what to do. But just the whole TC chain, it's cool. Yeah. Like the Island Day, the spring ball, that was a nice day. Like it was a good event.
Yeah.
So we'll see, man. It's gonna be exciting.
That's super exciting. Okay, cool. Okay, this next question comes from Brada.Ash. He wants to know, who has been your toughest competitor? And I don't know if he's just talking about your one UFC fight MMA fight that you had. Super random.
Yeah. No, you know what? Honestly, when it comes to, I think myself.
Oh, okay.
Because that's just been it, bro. I've always tried to outdo myself. Tried to be better than the last time. As a youngster playing basketball, okay, how many free throws can I hit in a row here? All right, next time, all right, I hit 10 last. I'm trying to get 15. Or just there were so many little self challenges that just helped me build my competitive, and it helped me get better. So I think I'm my biggest critic. I'm my biggest competitor because I'm always trying to do better than what I did before. And it just goes back to being better today than I was yesterday. Okay, how much yards did I gain that time? I want to get more this time. I want to have more catches. I want to, how many reps did I get? I'm trying to get more. It's just that self-competition because I don't, I've respected every single opponent, every single DB, everyone I've ever went against. But I never feared them. I never was afraid of that opposition. So I competed with myself to level up, to be better, so that next time, I'm always ready, right? So I'm always ready for the next game or whatever the case may be. So I think I'm my biggest competition, and it's just that's really holds true for everyone. It's it's you versus you.
Yeah.
Your ability to outdo what you did before, that shows you that you are getting better. That's your mark. That's your benchmark.
Yeah, that's good. And plus, it stops you from comparing. Yeah, because that's the worst comparison. That's just gonna destroy you. I'm not doing what this person's doing, or I'm not doing it as good as this person. But if you're just competing with yourself, you can. Oh, but if you compete with yourself, does that mean you're beating yourself? Do you win and lose at the same time? Because you beat the guy yesterday. Sorry, these are just random thoughts that's coming to my head.
Yeah, no. So it's no one likes to lose.
Yeah.
Right? I'm one of the most competitive people that you'll ever meet.
And I feel like you probably get super into it in ping pong.
Bro, yes. Everything. There's nothing, I can do a lot, right? I've competed at a lot of things. bro, darts, like bowling, like anything. Right? And I think most athletes are pretty capable of doing a lot. But I got humbled because, I love bodyboarding. And last year, I entered my very first bodyboarding competition, the Garden Island Classic on Kauai. And bro, I basically had like no points during my heat. It was a new break. I didn't really know. Like, I felt the pressure of a competition. Like, bro, I've competed my whole life. What's going on? Yeah. It's a new arena. It was, and it's like, oh, bro, that guy just caught a mean barrel. Dang, I didn't catch a wave yet. Why he going out? I just hit a freaking fat roll or what? I'm losing. Like, I felt some pressure and like I ended up not even making it out of that heat. And bro, it sucked. But I'm humble enough to admit that, and I'm humble enough knowing that, man, I was going into an arena that I didn't expect to win. I was doing it to support, share my love for bodyboarding, and have a new experience. But the competitor in me, that's what it is. So it's like, bro, so I got to get better. So I'm practicing. I'm doing more and more and more. So, I'm a better bodyboarder now than I was last year at that contest. I can tell you that, guarantee. Yeah. So, it's, you go through experiences as an athlete or as a person at the work field, you always encounter things, and getting humbled is good. Not that I was overly confident or egotistical, but you got to get humbled every now and then. You have to, maybe humbled isn't the right word, but it's adversity. Yeah, right? And when you go through adversity, sometimes it could be a humbling experience. Yeah.
It's almost like, I don't want to say failure, because, it depends how you look at it, but you just maybe, you just didn't. I think it has a lot to do with expectations. Yeah,
and I guess I didn't expect to win, but I also didn't expect to like be last in the heat and not make it out of the first heat. So I think that's where I was like, oh. But
then it lights that fire. And I gotta do better. Yeah. Do you think so? Do you think that's what? So you got drafted by the Jaguars, and then your NFL career was really short, right? Yeah. But then you went on to the Canadian League and just destroyed. Do you think that was necessary, like that? Like not being able to succeed in that phase of your life made you that much better to succeed in the next phase.
I tell that story. Yeah. Like my failures in the NFL, those things that I've went through, those experiences.
Wait, sorry to just cut you off, but I just want to say congrats on making it to Netflix. That's like one of the biggest accomplishments that, from a kid growing up in Hawaii, getting into the NFL, UFC, maybe becoming a surfer. That's like the top tiers. That's like every kid's dream, So I heard failure and making it to the NFL, and I just didn't like that. So I just want to say congrats and like.
Oh, well, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I shouldn't have said like not my failures, but like just the experience that I had. I didn't do what I envisioned myself doing, and I learned from that. I understand it. Okay, it's a business. Like it's strictly business. So Chad, you gotta approach everything like a business now. But this is the part that you don't get taught as a college athlete. The things you go through as a college athlete, you don't get taught that in high school. So there's things that these young athletes need to learn at a younger age to prepare them mentally when the situation arises.
And you're talking about taxes, yeah? Not joking.
Oh, that's a whole other podcast, they don't teach us that. Taxes, financial literacy, anyway. So, all those experiences, I think it helped me be the player I ended up being. And all the stuff I did in Canada, I felt I could have eventually did that in the NFL, but the NFL, they don't have time to wait. Unless you're a first-round pick, they've invested millions into you. They have to, listen to this now. First-rounders need to prove that they can't do it. Free agents, I was a 6th-round draft pick, basically a free agent. Yeah. Right, later round guys, free agents, they have to constantly prove that they can. That's the difference. Yeah. So the higher draft pick you are, you're going to get some time. You're going to get some opportunity until it's just, they're like, okay, we've got 3 years out of him. Like, he hasn't really panned out. Yeah, we got to move on.
Yeah, it's very political, yeah.
Yeah. But it's money. The money is what gets in the way of those things. And like I talked about, that's what got in the way of me. in the NFL because as a rookie, training camp, like, bro, I actually showed out. Like, I did my thing. But they couldn't play me in certain positions because they had a lot of money invested in some guys in front of me.
And that's what I've heard before. Yeah. I've talked to people and they told me something similar.
John Ursua. Yeah. I'm just going to talk about another guy. John Ursua.
John Ursua came on the podcast and
he's the guy that like 2 years ago was at like just healthy, balling. And it's like, bro, this guy should be playing right now.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, that's just the way it is. And the sooner you can understand that that's the business, it's a great game, but a horrible business. That's just what it is. Yeah. But yeah, man, truly thankful for all the lessons, you know, the adversities and things you go through, the struggles.
This is a perfect segue to the next question, actually, because Ricky JUK wants to know shout out to Ricky. He's a big supporter of the podcast.
Oh, right.
I'm from Hilo too. What was the lowest point in your career? How did you dig out of it, and what did it teach you?
I've had a bunch of low points throughout my career. I ain't gonna lie, a bunch of low points.
We love the honest truth here.
Yeah. Injuries. Obviously, there's a lot of injuries. But the biggest injury, the most devastating injury, was when in 2008, when I was in the Arena Football League after my NFL. Those 3 years, it just wasn't happening. So I went to the Arena Football League for 1 year. I actually got there maybe like halfway through the season. I got there and was balling. Like I got the opportunity.
I remember that.
Colorado Crush.
Yeah,
I was crushing it, doing my thing. And then it was a playoff. It was the week. I think it was the week 1 of the playoffs, first playoff game. It was the first playoff game, and like doing well. I scored on the very first play of the game. A little hit drop, boom, boom, make a guy miss, touchdown. I'm in my zone. And then all of a sudden, like I can't remember what quarter or whatever, my hamstring was kind of like bugging me a little bit, right? I'm like, damn. Should I sit? What should I do? Bro, you're a warrior, bro. Like, you good. And you know, in the Arena Football League, they kick it off the net, right? You catch it off the net. So the next, like, they scored and then they kicked off. I get that thing off the net, and then I boom, and I'm approaching the guys, and I do a move that I've never done before, where like a little hesitation, I go up, raise up, and then I go to cut. But bro, like I wasn't at ground level. Like I was higher, and my leg ended up getting straight, and it went into the ground straight. Yeah. And then my ACL just went, I tore it, like gone, down. And I just had that scare right away, like, oh my God, I tore my knee. And sure enough, MRIs, torn ACL. So the next day, because the doctor's like, oh yeah, Chad, like, feels like your ACL, but we'll do an MRI just to double check. But I already knew it was ACL gone. I couldn't even walk, bro.
Yeah.
The next day, bro, I'm in the training room, just ice, whatever I'm doing. My agent calls me. Because I was balling, bro, like literally balling, right? He's like, man, I wasn't going to tell you this, but I have to. The Atlanta Falcons had a contract offer for you. Bro, I was out of there. I was back to the NFL, bro. And how it works, so Mike Smith was a defensive coordinator in Jacksonville when I was there. He became the head coach in Atlanta. Yeah. But that never came through. He said, when you get healthy, you know, never happened. But, you know, so I'm just like, bro, that was such a low point for me. Thought about quitting.
Kicking a horse
done,
they're down.
Like, done, bro. I'm done. Like, wow. To get so close again. I used that Arena League. I built my confidence, bro. I'm ready. You know, and so, but, you know, you need support systems, right? You need people in your life that build you up, that tell you it's going to be okay. And my teammate, Rashad Floyd at the time, awesome dude. I always tell this story as well. He's like, CO, man, like, I've seen people come back from this, and bro, don't trip. Like, this will be your breakthrough. This is a test. And he shared a quote about, I think it was Booker T. Washington. It's like, the greatness of a man shouldn't be determined by his success in life, but rather by what he's able to overcome, something like that. And I'm like, okay, so my true greatness is going to be determined. My whole legacy, I was looking at it from my legacy is if I can come back from this injury and be better, all right, bet. Mm-hmm. Let's do it.
Nice.
So I was at my lowest, but I got reminded from a support system for someone that believes in me. And like, I went after it. I just trained, recovered from my ACL, and like did come back better than ever. And like I ended up in Canada, and then just like
balling
it was
out.
crazy, bro, crazy. So that was such a low, because my whole life as a kid, professional athlete. As a child, I told myself I'm going to be two things. Or I want to be two things: a professional athlete and or a movie star. You know, all the superheroes, the guy that saved the day, the soldier, like that was me. I was like, I'm going to do that. And so, you know, through all the hard work, man, I was doing it, and I was able to continue and persevere and make it there, you know. So, but there's a lot more, bro. There's a lot more low points, but that's just it. That comes with the territory, and that comes with being an athlete. The injuries is a huge part of it. But bro, there's mental times, mental stress. Bro, I was depressed when I first was like done playing, like because I wasn't ready to be done.
Yeah.
I just didn't get a contract.
I feel like that's really common too.
Oh, bro, it's common.
Athletes.
I've had some injuries, and like I was okay. I dealt with the injuries, and I got healthy finally, but no contract. And then COVID hit, and it's like, bro, just a whole like, I was in a pretty tough spot, you know, and just battling. Like, bro, like, what am I gonna do? Like, what am I doing? Because I wasn't ready to give it up. I wasn't prepared for my life after football. I didn't know what I was doing. And that's why I tell every athlete now, it's like, look, man, like, and it's hard because when you're in the game, in it, bro, you've got blinders on, and all you're focused on is being the best.
Yeah.
Training, eating, recovering, everything. It's all based around being the best athlete. You're not thinking about the next thing, right? And I wasn't blessed and fortunate enough with good finances, good money to be able to like invest and set up my future. That wasn't my situation, right? Everyone's cards are dealt differently, and that wasn't what I was dealt. And so, you know, stress and depression, and like I'm a failure. Like, bro, even after all of what I've done,
yeah, right.
You know, still feeling like that. But with the help of my family, you know, my wife, my kids, like, bro, we clawed out of it, you know, and bro, moving back home, I'm thankful for the pandemic.
Yeah, that's cool.
Only because it brought me home.
Yeah,
I wasn't planning on moving home.
You still wanted to continue your playing career?
No, I was in Toronto. Like, I was gonna live there. Like, that was home. That was it.
Oh, okay.
Like, I was training kids now. I was doing other things. I got into something, but it wasn't like my end all be all. But I was, you know, I thought that because I made a name for myself there and I was doing well, like, I had that whole country that knew me. And so I was like, this is going to be it. And then the pandemic hit, bro. And then we thought about it, man, if we're going to be locked up, bro, I'm being locked up in Hawaii. So in like 3 weeks, bro, we're out of there. Packed, sold stuff, and we were here with no plan. I had no plan. I had no idea what I was going to do.
How did you get into everything you're doing now with like the Star Advertiser?
Bro, I dove back into my networks here. I just reached out to people and got connected and this and that. That's what happened, you know, and thankful to the Advertiser. You know, shout out to my boy Jackie Booter from Barefoot League, connected me back up with Lanai. You know, Lanai knows everybody. All right, so shout out to Lanai for connecting with the Advertiser. You know, shout out to Dave Kennedy there for giving me an opportunity to create. We created the CO2 Rundown, right? They're a newspaper company going digital because everything's digital now. And so I'm thankful for that opportunity. And now we're just getting ready to take it to another level and got some exciting things that we're going to be doing with that. But, you know, and with that, I started, okay, you know what? I've always wanted to act. So, you know, I got this downtime, started taking acting classes. And, you know, I actually got my first movie coming out at the end of the summer.
Oh, congrats!
Yeah,
Can you give us a sneak peek? Or
it's called Paradise City.
Okay,
it's we filmed on Maui, It's Bruce Willis and John Travolta.
Oh, nice.
They're the two leads, and I played this warrior of this village. Paradise City is a village, right? So I played the lead warrior.
Oh, nice! I can't wait to see it. When does it come out?
Yeah. The end of the summer.
Oh, okay, so kind of soon.
Yeah. It should be out soon. So
nice.
Be on the lookout for me. I've actually got some lines in it.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm like a featured actor, but
that's cool. It's small little wins.
Hey, it's a small win.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take. It's a huge win.
Yeah.
Right. Because now I'm checking off 2 boxes. My childhood dream: actor.
Yeah.
Athlete. I did both.
Yeah.
Right.
Just retire. You're good. Don't need to do anything else. We're done.
So I can't wait, man.
On the beach.
And shout out to Bruce Willis because they announced his career is done, because of his health issues.
Yeah.
This is his last movie.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So it should get some good press.
Yeah.
It was a great experience. Shout out to Chuck Russell, who was the director. He directed The Rock, Scorpion King.
Oh, nice.
Jim Carrey's Mask. He's out there, bro. He's big time. So it was good to be a part of that. And so that arena, on set and action, Chad, it felt like I was in a game again.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It gave me that adrenaline rush.
You started looking up for those.
Bro, I was like, wait, wrong scene, wrong set. You know what I mean?
Your hand automatically comes up.
Yeah. I was like, action, what? Wrong one. No, but it was great. And at that moment, I felt like, man, no, I belong here. Mm-hmm. You just get a feeling of man, this is right. This feels right. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, I mean, so much, bro, so much. So thankful for all of these things. And I'm excited for what the future holds.
The next phase of your life.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that. I just want to first mahalo everybody for the Instagram questions. Make sure you leave some for our next guest and maybe it'll make it on the podcast.
Yes,
so we're already talking about the future, what's next, what's happening now. And I know you already made an announcement, but maybe you can make it on the podcast as well. Just tell everybody what's next for Chad Owens. I know you already got the shirt. Maybe you want to try to face the
camera.
Let
me just give you guys
you can look at that camera right there.
Give you guys a nice shot here. Yeah, Chad Owens for OHA at large. I'm running for OHA, the Office of Hawaiian Affairs.
Woo! We need more locals.
Yeah, to be a trustee, and as I'm learning more about that job, and there's a lot for me to learn. I'm gonna be honest, right? But I do know this, that our people our Hawaiians deserve this. And my mission statement is basically this, I'm looking forward to creating positive change and more opportunities for Hawaiians to thrive, right? Because at the end of the day, we should be thriving in our home state.
Yep.
We shouldn't be barely getting by. We shouldn't be forced to move away to the mainland to take care of our families. Yeah. That's not it, right? And so, I'm not the sole. I'm not going to be the sole person to create all the change. But I'm looking at it like a team, right? When you have we talked about it. You have good seasons, you have bad seasons. That's just what it is. You got to go through the bads, you got to go through the storms in order to appreciate the victories. And I see victories coming. Mm-hmm. And I know OHA has had some stuff that has happened in the past where people talk about it.
Yeah.
That's just it. Hey, there's got to be changes. Yeah. There's got to be, some turnover, and it happens. And so for me, I'm not coming in to make me be the change. I'm going to be an added voice at that table while listening to our people who are the beneficiaries of OHA, right, our Hawaiian people, listening to that voice and what can we do as a board to take care of that? We've got a kuleana, a responsibility to obviously take care of this trust and find ways to grow it. But that's my goal. It's I cannot. It's a new challenge. I run to adversity. I run to new things. Because it's gonna force me to prepare harder. It's going to force me to kind of dive into something. And that's what I'm excited about. I always look forward to new challenges.
Yeah.
And, it's not something I'm going to do by myself. There's a team. I love being part of teams. Mm-hmm. And the Hawaiian people need to understand, right? We are all one. We are all a team.
It's a kako thing.
It's a kako thing. And inclusive. And we need to continue to work together, right? Hey, Hawaiians, we shouldn't be fighting.
Yep.
Stand together, regardless of past, because past is in the past. We talked about it, right? Yesterday, hey, it's over with. Failure, success is done. Today is a new day, right? In order for us to achieve and accomplish what we want as Hawaiians and as a beautiful state, we need to stay together. And that's sort of like, that's kind of what I put out on that post. And you see, I had my family with me because it is a family thing. You know, it's Chad Owens, but it's my ohana. We're doing this, you know, and that's sort of part of the message too, is that it's a we thing. It's not an I thing, it's a we thing. And I'm excited for it, man. More things to come out. This is this is my sign. So you're gonna see these signs popping up. You know, the shirt, we got some other designs, but this is the sign. You're gonna see it. There's gonna be more opportunities for you to support, like anyone, right? Like I got to run a campaign, so there's gonna be some, you know, opportunities to donate and support the campaign. I'm gonna be posting that on my social media as that's ready. Should be here in the next day, like legit, a couple of days.
So you just figured, I'm already doing 1 million things. Let me just do 1,000,001 things.
You know what? Again, I said when I got here, when we moved back in 2020, in the midst of the pandemic, this was prior to Hawaii's numbers skyrocketing. Like Hawaii, they're chilling right now, they're good.
Oh yeah,
as soon as I came off the plane, and I'm like, wow. But I had no plans. But now a lot of these things are unfolding and coming, and you know, it's a blessing. You know, but I talked about opportunity, right? But if I'm not prepared, if I didn't do all the work that I did prior to this, if I couldn't be a great spokesperson, if I couldn't be a great host, if I couldn't be a positive influence, if I didn't have all of those abilities, and I've learned those things and gained those things through the past and all these years, I wouldn't have these opportunities. You know, so I'm ready. You know, I am ready.
Did people like Brenton Awa, BJ Penn, you know, kind of these local figures,
McCool
Rothman, yeah, these people that aren't necessarily politicians or, you know, in this political world, did those people inspire you to do what you're doing?
Absolutely. You know, it's like you need people in office that are part of the people, that have lived it, that have come and grown from those roots. But hey, that's the truth.
Yeah, you want to see your governor at the beach where you're at. You don't want to see him at these super fancy kahala parties, right?
You know what I'm saying? Like we want it. We don't want it to be someone that seems so far fetched that we talked about.
We can't relate to that.
Can't relate. We want someone that we can touch and feel, and like, hey, that's willing to come to. Hey,
yeah.
You know,
how's that, brother?
That's you know. But at the same time, having the understanding, hey, you still have a job to uphold. You still have to have the ability to, what's the word I'm looking for? Basically, take care of your position. Like on any team, everyone has a position. Everyone's got to understand their role. That's what it is. When you understand your role, and you understand how to execute, that's the word I'm looking for. That's what matters. At the end of the day, if you understand your role and you execute, no one's going to tell you anything. And if you go about it with aloha and a smile on your face, and you are who you are, and you say the things you say is what you say, and you do what you can say you can do, that's called what? Integrity. Yeah. Right? That's the kind of people we need.
Okay. Vote for Chad because he's gonna put the oha in aloha.
Ooh.
Hire me right now. Yeah.
Ooh, I love that. I'm using that.
Go for it. Yeah. Just send me some royalties. Yeah.
Let's go.
Wait, okay. I gotta ask because I know we all know here OHA, you know, Office of Hawaiian Affairs, but I guarantee there are a lot of people out there who are like me and wondering what does OHA actually do.
Honestly, like the job is. This is, I think, where there's a misunderstanding. And this is where I think education is going to come in a huge, right? We need to educate people on it. And OHA trustee, right? We have it's called I just learned this.
Fiduciary. Yeah.
It's basically we have that to uphold. It's the trust of the beneficiaries, which is the Hawaiian people.
Yeah.
Right. We have their trust in us to uphold to that. Right. We have this trust that we're building. The actual trust.
Yeah, like
the
money.
Monies.
Yeah, and you decide where that's allocated.
That's it. Yeah.
Because I hear there's a lot of money, but it's like, what are they doing with the money?
Right. So that's where like you get in and there's voting, right? A board, like any board. Mm-hmm. You have to have a majority, right, for a vote of something to go through and pass. And I think those are the things where I'm interested and exciting to go in. I mean, I got to get elected first, right? Or else I'll never be in that room to be able to help and make a difference and vote and actually say, hold up, wait. I'm not too sure if this makes sense right now. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because you need people that are going to be against things. You can't just be, they'll call them yes mans or yes women. You know, it's like you have to be, again, it's integrity. It's what makes sense, is what's right. And you know, that's basically in a nutshell, the job. But it's a big job. That's a big job because you're dealing with big money that's affecting a lot of people. Mm-hmm.
And the Native-Hawaiian community. Who are, you know, very disgruntled, who are, you know.
And then they're for good reason. Yeah. Because of what's going on. Mm-hmm. The illegal overthrow. Everything. We can dive deep into all of those things. And, you know, it's just, wow. I mean, it still blows my mind that, you know, as Hawaiian people, we're still basically getting taken advantage of.
Yeah.
Right?
We talk about it all the time on the podcast. Yeah.
So, you know, I those are the types of things that, and OHA's been around since, you know, was it 19? I should know this again. I'm still learning.
Yeah.
Right? But from when we began until now, there's probably been very little. In the beginning, you have this spike of like this new movement, this new thing, which is great.
Everyone's all excited.
But then there's been a plateau, right? And obviously all the stories you hear and all that, and it just, we need to, that's why I'm talking about creating positive change. And we talk about adversity. We talk about failures. We talk about those things. That's okay. I'm not holding OHA, anything against OHA for its previous or whatever failures. Hey, no one's perfect. I'm not perfect. By no means. No one is. People make mistakes. You know, but again, we talk about a role. You have to be able to be in a position. You're getting selected in this position because you're expected to execute and for the betterment of the Hawaiian people. And that, I think, has been in question. And so that's where I'm excited, is because for me, I've always been a team player, and my team right now is the Hawaiian people. I'm part of that team. Yeah, I have a larger voice. I have a platform. I have an image. I have things that I can use. But now, and to me, that's kind of where I think each island's trustee, I'm going for at large, right? But each island has its trustee and representation of their island. That's where they take from each island the voice of the people, you know, and what do we need? How can we get it done, right? Hawaiian-owned businesses, how can we help them thrive? Because if they're thriving, they're pouring back into their local communities. It's a revolving door. Everyone's going to win, you know? So that's what I want to see happen. I want to see more Hawaiians succeeding and thriving in our own home.
I know. It's a crazy thought, yeah. To have Hawaii
it shouldn't even be a thought. It should be automatic.
Yeah.
Right? We should be thriving over here.
Yeah. There should be a Kama Aina line at the airport. That's what I want.
There should be Kama.
I'm joking about this, but seriously.
Cost of house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we got, you know, it's, and Hawaiian Homes is a whole, and again, this is maybe, again, misconception, like Hawaiian Homes, Office of Hawaiian Affairs and Hawaiian Homelands is separate.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Okay.
It's totally separate. It's separate, but to me, it's under the umbrella of helping and supporting Hawaiians. You know, we need to, and even that, we need to work together.
Yeah.
That's why I say we got to stick together and work together in order to achieve together.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I'm excited about, man.
Yeah,
is to have our Hawaiians win a championship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We got to be the champions.
Yeah.
You know?
I guess that's why we're so unsatisfied, because we never won a championship yet. National championship.
That's it.
Yeah, and we need to win, and winning is having all these benefits for our own people.
And I almost feel like we're Hawaiians, that aloha spirit, that way of living. Have you watched Waterman?
Not yet. I want to. Yes, I want to.
Watch Waterman. You will know.
I'm trying to get Dwayne on the podcast.
Yeah, Duke Kahanamoku is aloha. That, if you look at what he did throughout his career, like he went around the world and spread aloha, and everybody just loved it. It's all. So that's why I'm saying aloha did it before with Duke. Changed the world, in my opinion. It can heal the world, in my opinion. But I almost feel like we're being sheltered and forcing division amongst ourselves, forcing this. We cannot have that. If we want the change, we need to, number one, register to vote. Everybody needs to register to vote.
Yeah.
You want change, you got to make change. How do you create change? You vote for the change.
Yeah.
Right? So we got to be registered, number one. And then vote. Doesn't matter who you vote for. Take the initiative, because if you register as a parent, guess what? Your kids know you register. It becomes part of just what it is. Oh, I got to register to vote because my parents did it. So we need to make that a thing.
Normalize it.
Normalize it. That way our voices can be like what we say. Yeah, I'm making a difference. I voted. You can't just say, oh, but you're not registered to vote. You're not adding and trying to help create the change. So that's number one. And then, bro, if we can get that shelter removed, if we can emerge, I promise you. I was surfing at Makua just yesterday, and we were talking about this in the water. Like, bro, aloha can heal the world, bro.
I believe it. I feel like there's so much that the world can learn from us. And I'm not just speaking Hawaiian specifically. There, people can learn so much from Hawaiian culture, but like this local culture that we have in Hawaii, this aloha spirit, it's like you said, it can heal. If we were the aloha we wanted to see in the world, like it could definitely change the world and even create these ripple effects. And to see, like, I went to Hawaii and these people were like this way, and now I want to be like them.
Exactly.
I truly believe that there's a lot that people can learn from us.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So we put in the oha in aloha. Whoo!
Not an advertisement.
No, I love it, man. And that's a little promo for me to kind of just share with the listeners and the viewers, man. That's why I
want people to hear. I mean, you're a local guy. You've done a lot for the community. You've, entertained us for how many years? And now, you're just trying to do something else to continue to give back.
Yeah,
so
greater impact.
I appreciate
greater
it.
Greater impact,
yeah.
Yes.
Going off of that, how do you want to be remembered? So you've done all this stuff. You're about to do more things. How, at the end of the day, like, what is your legacy that you're trying to leave? How do you want to be remembered?
I mean, for my kids, right? Initially, just a hard worker. Just never satisfied. Always looking to do more. You ask me, how are you able to do 101 things? You're doing 100 things. Well, it's because I want to, right? We never limit ourselves to what we're capable of. The capacity is pretty remarkable, bro, what you can do if you allow your mind to just open up and allow it. So legacy, my family, like, just hardest working person that they've ever known, and earned it, earned everything. And inspired a lot along the way. And that's as an overall from, the state of Hawaii, remembered as, someone who inspired, someone who left it all out there on the field, in office, like whatever he did, whatever I touched, I gave you my best. It doesn't matter if I was paid 50% of what I thought I should have been paid. I gave you the 100% output. And I think that's Chad Owens.
Nice.
Not I think, I know. That's me. Yeah. I'm going to give you my best regardless, because that's just who I am. I represent me. What I do is me. if I'm in front of a camera, if I'm in front of a group of people, if I'm in front of one individual, I'm going to prove how good I can be. Because that's the habit I built throughout my sports career. Yeah. Always having to prove.
And not prove it to others, but prove it to yourself.
Prove to myself. Yeah. Prove to myself that I can. And I will.
Love it.
And awesome. that's the legacy, man. Prove that. So that rubs off on people and proving it, man, I can and I will do this.
Yeah. Well, good luck. I have no doubt that you'll accomplish more things. I mean, with your hard work ethic like that, I mean, that's something that I feel like can't be taught.
It's not. It's a skill that's been gifted.
Yeah.
You know, and you can develop it. You can. But I think the more, and I guess this is sort of like, I don't know if this is a segue, but I don't know if you're going to ask me, but you talk about the life hack.
Yes, yeah. Mention it, yeah.
Let's do it.
What is your life hack?
What's my life hack? My life hack is embracing struggle. Embrace it. Because what do you think of when you think of the word embrace?
Like a big hug.
Yeah. It's like, come.
Yeah.
Come. Like, well, yes.
I'm just thinking of myself going to Hilo, getting picked up by my mom and being like, hi, Mommy.
Embraced. Yeah. So I have a saying, one of my sayings from my brand, CO2, right, is adversity fuels me. Hard work defines me, passion separates me. That's my brand, right? That's part of the CO2. But when I talk about adversity fuels me, and why I lead with that is because adversity is the one thing, that's one of two things, right? Hey, the day we pass on and we go to heaven. But adversity is guaranteed in life. It's guaranteed. So the sooner you can embrace that, the sooner you can prepare yourself mentally for that, bro, you're not gonna be depressed. You're not gonna be stressed. You're not gonna be upset at something that you shouldn't even be bothered being upset by, because you just embrace it. Okay, like, hey, that's cool. Like, all right, what can we do? How we figure? Like, when you embrace something, your mood. When you're faced with opposition, like I said, stress, one of the biggest stresses is financial stress today. Hey, believe that something's gonna give. Like, we're gonna be okay. Like, when you embrace it, you can approach something with a more relaxed mindset. Yeah. And when you're in that state of mind, you can focus. So, okay, hey, we're struggling. All right, no problem. What can we do to maybe make ends meet? You know, maybe, hey, such and such, hey, you're good at this. Maybe we can do this and craft, and maybe we can sell that. You know, inside, there's always a way.
Yeah.
Right. So embrace the struggle, man.
Yeah.
Embrace it. I'm out looking for opposition. I'm out looking for challenges.
Make my life a little harder here.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Because on the other side of adversity is growth.
Yes.
And I got to share something, because, you know, I was talking to my wife about this, and she heard she was listening to a podcast, and one of the big fans of mine, I'm a big fan of his, Ed Milet.
Oh, okay. Yes, I've seen him before. Yes. He's pretty big.
Oh, he's jacked up.
Okay, yeah.
This guy's jacked up.
Yeah. If you think Chad's jacked, check out this guy.
Yeah, Milet, his face is like, he's like what Thanos. So two things. So we're talking about it, right? My wife said, yeah, no, there's a spiritual quote, right? God doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies the called. And so I took that to another level. I said, you're right. Because a lot of people get presented opportunities, but because of they don't embrace struggle, there's fear also, right? If you embrace struggle, you're not fearful. You're fearless.
Yeah.
Every opportunity that is presented to you, listen now, is meant for you. So embrace it. Go, boom. But yeah, you got to process, and okay, so you don't just jump on an opportunity, right? But if it aligns, great, right? But don't be afraid, right? You're qualified. You don't have to think about it. The opportunity is presented because you're pre-qualified, right?
You're already capable.
You're already capable. So this goes on to that self-belief. Yeah. Like, I'm already capable. So don't doubt that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And she said, when you get past your fear or your adversity, this is big now, you get introduced to your new self.
Yeah. No,
Look, evolution, totally man. Agree. That's the name of the game.
Yeah. I'm totally relating to this, because I was in Peace Corps. I was in Madagascar for 3 years volunteering, and so much adversity, so much struggle, you know, so many challenges, you know. But my the way I say embrace the struggle is I always told myself it's part of the experience. So it's like when I had surgery there, I had appendicitis. When I got stuck in a cyclone, I had to walk 8 hours back to my site. When I was like going through all this, I thought I had malaria in the middle of my house, in the middle of nowhere. Thought I was gonna die. I'm saying it's all part of the experience, and it calms you down. You know, maybe just sing a little Bob Marley in your head. Don't worry about a thing, but you know, but it's all part of the experience. It's what happens when you embrace the struggle, when you go past that fear, and there's so much growth. So much growth. So everything you're saying, I'm just like, yes.
It's like listen. A magical key that unlocks that, bro. Because stress, it's all from up here, right?
Yeah.
So,
and it's a lot of times we're stressing or fearing things that don't even
exist.
It's just all in our mind.
Didn't even happen yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Why are you predetermining like something bad when that's not even like we're not there yet?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that happens a lot. So embrace the struggle. Mentally prepare for it, look for it, because through everything you've been through, that you struggled, what happened? You learned from it, and you became a better person from it. And for a lot of people, there was a jump. That stock market line went up, right? Stocks takes its dips too, right? Yeah. But hey, it goes back up. That's life.
As long as you don't sell, you don't lose.
That's life, though, man. Life, you're gonna take dips.
Yeah,
it's expected. So give me some more dips, man. I want to dip so I can catapult and build momentum.
I feel like go. Your dips are a little different. Mine's more a chip dip, and you're more like tries right there.
Yeah. So yeah, man, that's the life hack, man. Embrace
love
it.
Love it. That's a great one. Mahalo. Okay, we're coming to the end of the podcast. I just got a couple more things I wanna know. Okay, so what are you most proud of?
Man, I'm I'm a family guy, right? So I'm proud of my wife. I'm proud of my kids. I'm a proud dad. I'm a proud husband. I'm a proud father. And I guess, on a self note, right? To be successful, you gotta somewhat be selfish. You have to. Not in an egotistical way, but you have to put yourself first.
There's self-interest involved.
Yeah. So I'm proud that I was able to understand that, and I did it. But I had a wife that embraced it. I had kids that understood it. And maybe it's because we were together since we were 12, but that's hard. If other halves have an issue with you putting yourself first, it's probably not going to work out. Yeah. Because I'm trying to do better for us. But it takes me being selfish, right? I'm selfless, but I have to put myself first in order for me to succeed, in order for us to rise.
Yeah.
And so I think I'm proud that I didn't waver from that, and I stuck to knowing what I needed to do and did it consistently.
Yeah.
So I'm proud that I was able to persevere and do that and persevere through all the things that I've persevered through. You got to celebrate yourself. Don't be afraid to celebrate yourself. You
Very
have to.
important. Treat yourself.
Treat yourself. You know what I mean? Don't cheat yourself. Treat yourself.
Let's go.
So yeah, man, definitely proud of that. I mean, and I know, there's going to be a lot more things that I will be proud of. Like my son graduated from high school. Like he's in college now. My daughter's about to graduate from high school next year, and there's a lot of proud moments to be had still. But yeah, man, I'm extremely happy,
That's
bro.
Awesome. Cool. That great answer. We're going a little long, but now I'm just so curious though, because so you're 40, right?
Just turned 40.
Just turned
40. April 3rd.
Yeah, you look amazing. So you've been with your wife for 28 years. That's crazy. Like, what is the secret?
What's the life hack to a relationship?
I'm sure other people are asking for a friend.
That's the type of stuff that my wife and we just talked about. I said, babe, you want to start a podcast about
you should.
Couples?
I've never heard of somebody, or I guess maybe I've never met anybody who aren't like pre-high school sweethearts. And then especially with a career that you had where, all these adversities, all these travelings, these different phases of your life.
Temptation. Yeah, temptations.
You got money, you got fame, that with that comes, women, there's other opportunities, partying, there's so much. Like,
yeah.
How?
Yeah.
How? How? I'm just confused right now.
Man, like I gotta have to say, being Hawaiian, aloha, understanding what family and ohana means, right? I think growing up here gave me that perspective. It's everything, right? We treat family like that's the number one.
Yeah.
We're taught that that's number one.
I got it on my form, ohana.
Yeah, it's number one. So, yeah, there was opportunities. There's things that happen, and it's those are. But as soon as you can realize what temporary feelings are versus long term, right? Look, it's simple. What's temporary? What's long term? You want this quick fix, or you want this long, sustainable thing? And that's just it. I mean, this is a whole story, but I'm blessed. I mean, and for her too, right? She had to. She's the other side of this. So her growing up here as well, understanding that helps, right? So you have to have two people that come together that have similar beliefs, have similar upbringing, and we both have similar stories. Both come from, I don't want to say broken homes, but split parents, things like that, struggle. Yeah. And now I think that's also helped.
You have a level of understanding that you can't really find. It's the same like when Peace Corps volunteers, they end up with Peace Corps volunteers because there's this thing that you go through that you can't really relate to anybody else. Nobody really understands. But something like that where you just like, you understand each other. Yeah. And that's like the biggest thing. Love is good, but understanding, like if you don't have that understanding, then, what's the point of love?
Yep. Yeah. That's it, bro. So, man.
That's impressed. That's something to be proud of.
Yeah, that's definitely something to be proud of too. Yeah, I mean, let me. Wifey's watching this. Like, babe, I'm super proud that we are still grinding and climbing together. So we got a lot more to do. We're looking for the next peak.
Yeah. If you're impressive, I'm sure she's just as impressive.
Oh my God, yeah. She's amazing.
Yeah, you are like a mirror, a reflection of people in your life. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay. So I like to ask all my guests this. What is one thing you wish people knew about you that they don't?
Oh, man. One thing that people don't know about me.
Yeah, that you wish that they knew.
That I wish they knew. Yeah. You know what? I think on social media, I present myself as hardworking. And that comes with like tough and like strong. I'm those things physically, but I'm kind of a softie.
Yeah. I totally get it. Everybody thinks I'm like super manly, tough and strong, so I'm totally relating to you.
Bro, like there's so many like moments that I'm watching a movie and I have no business like almost tearing up, and I'm just like and it hits you like, and you're just like, and like I have a very, very soft heart. Emotional, and I guess that comes from the struggle. It comes from the experience that I've had, and like so many things I guess relate.
That it shows that you're empathetic.
Very empathetic. And like I do have that very empathetic, compassionate, and caring side. I mean, I love life. I love life, and I don't take life for granted. I live every day to its fullest. I'm on bodyboarding, I'm bodybuilding, I'm acting, I'm doing this. I'm doing the most. I'm living. They say, hey, live your life to its fullest. Yeah, like I'm trying to do that, and at the same time, I think I'm very empathetic, and I've gotten a lot of I guess I'm answering it twice. I've always gotten a lot of tweets and messages. Man, I saw you at so and so, but if you see me, I'm not unapproachable. Come up, say what's up, say hello. If you want an autograph, you want a handshake, you want to take a photo, you want to shout me out on your Instagram, like
you want $20, just ask them.
Hey, I mean, I'm gonna make you work for it though. But yeah, like I'm very approachable. I mean, I'm very open. I'm you. Like I'm no different than you.
Yeah.
Basically, like we're the same.
Yeah.
I've done things, I've accomplished things, but that doesn't make me any better. So please don't put me on a platform. We are together, and that's another thing I want people to know is like, hey, I'm very approachable, and I just got nothing but love for more people, especially here in Hawaii.
Love that. Yeah, I think it's weird how social media works and fame works. It's like people put you on this pedestal.
Oh, you got the blue check mark.
Yeah, you're verified. It's like it's like you're living in a different world than other people, and that's what's cool about the podcast is I get to meet all these people and like working with so many business owners and like influencers and whatever, and I see them and they're like, oh, they're just normal people, Yeah, you can probably like if we were at a party and I had no idea who they were, we'd probably just be chatting normally, just at the beach, like, hey, how's the waves today? Just like regular stuff.
Yeah, and I don't get offended. Just to add, I don't get offended when someone's like, bro, I never know who you were. I didn't know. I was like, I don't get offended.
Yeah.
Because, sometimes I'd like that because people get a real sense of like who I really am as a person. Not, oh, that's Chad Owens.
Yeah.
That's this broad I just met. He's super cool. Like, wow, like. And I found out what you did, bro. I didn't realize you're just this person. And people say, "Oh, you're just famous." I'm like, bro, no. I mean, I don't consider myself famous. I've accomplished a few things, but I'm not famous. If I ever get to like the Rock's level, like then you can consider me famous, bro. It's I love having those encounters with people that don't know who I am. They don't know my background, and we just meet and we catch up. We rap out, cool, good vibes, and then. They hit me up later like, bro, I didn't know you.
You scored 2 touchdowns in the BYU game back in the days.
Yeah, man. So very down to earth.
Yeah. I can tell that just from talking and when we said hi and just like chatting before this as well. Yeah, awesome. All right, last question. Favorite local businesses to support?
What industry are we talking here? I've got a
everything.
bunch.
Just maybe got some some friends, family, some just.
Well, I got to shout out my boy Daniel, Young's Fish Market.
Okay.
I got to shout out Young's Fish Market. That's my boy Daniel. Go check him out, right? And I believe Friday, tomorrow, he's having Augie Tea.
Oh, nice.
Well, I mean, Fridays, they do like this comedy, or they started, now that things have opened back up, they're doing live entertainment.
Nice.
Right? So they got comedy, they're going to have music, and I love it. Like that's Hawaii. Like,
yeah, that's how it should be.
That's how it should be.
Yeah.
So shout out to Young's Fish Market. I am a sucker for Liliha Bakery. Like I just, best pancakes to me, like regular, the original, just buttermilk pancakes. I go over there and smash. Like, bro, what time is it? I might have to.
yeah. You're not too far.
So Liliha Bakery, like I just love, especially going to the original one. All the aunties still remember me from back in like high school, college. Like that was the spot. We go there late and like they chef it up for us. So I love Liliha Bakery. The
original one is the one in town, right? Like where you can
Liliha,
sit
right there, Liliha at the bar top.
Liliha, the bar.
Yeah, Liliha.
The road of Liliha.
The one in town. What street was it on again?
I never made that connection. Liliha Bakery.
Yeah. So that one.
Well, I was thinking of the right place. I just didn't make that.
Yeah, but connection. Yeah, man, that one's awesome. But I mean, outside of restaurants, I'm talking food here. Man, like I mentioned Jackie Booter, Barefoot League, like he's done so much for the community as well. He's the selfless guy. In his situation, former pro bodyboarder, right? And now he can't do it because of his health conditions, but he's a guy that got so much aloha. Giving. So shout out to Barefoot League. Man, I can go on and on and on, bro. There's so many people that have supported me. Shout out to the Star Advertiser.
Sweet Enemy.
Yeah. Sweet Enemy.
Drew's the man. Yeah.
Drew, bro, this is my favorite hat. I wear it all over the place.
Yeah. He was on the podcast.
So Drew is super solid. He's giving back, and all his story is amazing too. And those are the types of stories that need to be told. People need to be hearing that more, because all these types of businesses, they don't just happen. They're happening for a reason, because something happened that this is their way to kind of either represent that person or give back, or It's just so dope, you know? And so, tons. There's tons, bro. I've got a long list of connections that I've made throughout my time, this short period of time that I've been back, networking with people. Hey, just my personal sponsor. I just got to go. Hey, Hawaii Self Storage, another company.
I saw a commercial.
That's always giving back. Aloha Water provided me with water. Who else? Well, I don't want to miss anybody, but you know who you are. You guys, Texaco. I do stuff with them, obviously, and so, I'm always for local. We gotta support local.
As it should be.
We gotta support local.
That's what Hawaiiverse is.
Hey, Hawaiiverse. Shout out to Hawaiiverse.
Hey, mahalo.
For having me on and for doing your thing, bro. Like you're bringing all these people I'm talking about, businesses, athletes, people on here that have a story. And I believe everybody has a story. Everyone has a way that they can inspire. And it's great for everyone to know because you're gonna want to go and support them.
Oh yeah. Love it. Awesome. Well, I have actually a lot more things I want to ask you, but we have to wrap up. We're over our time limit. But I appreciate you coming on.
Save it for another one. We can do another episode.
Round 2 after you get elected.
Hey.
All right, wait, one more question. Do you ever think you could play in that fan-controlled league? Because I just saw Terrell Owens. He was playing.
Man, I don't know.
Did you ever did that ever cross your mind?
I could still train right now and get prepared and play, but I'm at a different place right now, like mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. Playing football, being a professional athlete, that takes a lot of work. Because you can't just go and show up, think you've been doing it for years, and go and train for a little bit and go do it. You'll get injured like that. You will.
I'm not an athlete. I get injured every other Tuesday.
And I'm not trying to get banged around and oh my God, bro. It's like being in a car accident. Yeah. People don't understand playing a football game. It's like being in a car accident.
Well, that's the next why day. There's so many concussions. I don't know what you call it, residual. Injuries.
MCT. All that. CTE. Sorry, MCT. CTE. Long-term stuff. It's part of it. You are, that's why people that actually get into car accidents, little things nothing against them. They got these neck rolls and oh my God. Bro, that was it every single post-game day. Yeah. And then you roll out, then the next day you feel a bit better, and the next day you're back at practice. And you're doing it again that weekend. Yeah. So it's, I'm good.
It's a lot.
I'm good.
Okay.
I've been watching my son.
Nice.
Get into car accidents. Hopefully not, though. Hopefully he'll stay healthy.
That's a funny way to
get
it. All right, cool. Well, again, mahalo for coming on. This has been great to get to hear your story more in depth, to hear everything that you're doing and will do in the future. So, best of luck. Where can we find you? What's your socials, of course?
Well, hey, at Chad Owens, too, on Instagram. I'm heavily on it. That's my main platform. I've got a Twitter account, but I'm not as active on there as I used to be. TikTok, I tried it. It's a different world, So I like Instagram because it's got the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
But I do have to mention, I'd love for people to go and support me and support BioSteel. It's a sports drink that I've been promoting.
Nice.
It's a company that I connected with while in Canada. It's a sugar-free. It's a recyclable. It's called a Tetra Pak.
Okay.
It's environmentally friendly.
Love it.
And it's the best sports drink in the game.
Okay.
It is, truly.
How's the sugar? Added
Zero sugar.
Okay, that's the best.
It's sweet.
I don't
stevia.
added sugar.
It's stevia.
Okay.
So there's no added. It's amazing. Thanks. 5 flavors, 7-Eleven, Foodland, Safeway, Don Quixote's. Okay. It's everywhere.
So we can get it here.
Texaco. Yeah, it's here. Okay. It's been here since
Probably seen it before.
Early in the year. I promote it all the time.
Okay.
Just go and get BioSteel. Support.
BioSteel. Okay, I'll go check them out.
Yeah, I'm going to be, if you look, I'm always pushing here and there, taking a photo, talking about it. But BioSteel, it's a great sports drink, obviously for the electrolyte replenishment.
Yeah. Coconut water good for electrolytes.
Yeah, it's good, man. Whatever taste you're craving. Yeah. But had to shout that out and let people know that. Cool. But mahalo for having me. Thanks for all your support ahead of time. OHA, it's something that I'm going to be pushing for.
Where do they donate? What's the website?
Right, that's going to come. Okay. I will
just follow you on Instagram.
Yeah. Follow me on Instagram at Chad Owens too. Actually, you can also follow the Owens for OHA on Instagram.
Okay.
At
Yes.
Owens,
I just saw that.
FOR Oha.
Okay. We'll tag it in all the posts that we have, right?
Yeah. There's gonna be a website coming too. I believe it's gonna be owensforoha.com or I'm gonna be posting it. So stay on the lookout for those things. Yeah. That way you can share your aloha and support this awesome campaign I'm about to be running.
Awesome. All right, so check them out, all the platforms. I think we're about to get on TikTok with Hawaiiverse. Yeah, Jordan and I were just talking about getting on TikTok. So follow Hawaiiverse podcast on TikTok. You're gonna make your guests start doing some TikTok dance. Yeah. Oh, I mean, that's you had the idea, not me. You'll be the first one. We're just gonna post the same clips we post on Instagram and TikTok. Nice. Just reach a different audience, trying to blow this thing up. Nice. Yeah. All right on. Well, mahalo, Chad, for joining us on the Hawaiiverse podcast. Check us out on Hawaiiverse.com, the best place to support local. Spread aloha, be kind to one another, and mahalo for listening to us today. New episodes every Thursday, so make sure you follow us and leave a review. I'm your host, Kamaka, and you'll hear me next time on the Hawaiiverse podcast. Hui ho.